Good afternoon, John.
Good afternoon,
Good to see you
everybody.
again. It's a Socialist Sunday. I believe you're going to be talking to us on a very interesting subject, so I'll pass it over to you to proceed. Thank you, John.
Yes, the new party, as it were. I think I should make a declaration at the very beginning that I am not speaking with any direct personal briefing from any of the central people that appear to be playing a leading role in this, I think, quite remarkable initiative. Uh, that is to say, I'm familiar with some of them and their thinking, but I have not had any direct intelligence, nor would I purport to claim, on the clever plan for the future, how exactly things will develop, what the precise intentions are for the structure of the new party, its democratic accountability, and more generally, its program. Although we, I think, could quickly put together, all of us, a pretty good idea of what that program, of what that party program might look like. I'm not claiming to speak with any authorized briefing from those involved. The second thing is, I am, however, quite convinced that this is quite unlike any of the other attempts at launching alternative socialist parties, which I've either someplace, heaven help us, been part of or was aware of and was familiar with the whole project. And the big difference is, as it were, and there are pluses and minuses in everything, and this is true of what I'm going to say, they're not people with a track record of sectarian organization building. I don't use the word here sectarian as an insult, but rather as a very narrowly defined strategy to provide an alternative to a mass social democratic Labour Party that is, however, narrowly defined as to its character, and that is to say, in one form or another, a future Leninist party with a revolutionary program and some version or other of an interpretation of Bolshevik organization. Now, I don't use any of those words as swear words. I've been myself part of various initiatives over the past, God help us, 60 years or more, which would qualify for what I've just been describing. I think most people who are experienced, as I know you all are, would be familiar with what I'm talking about. This is not a new version of the SWP or the RSL or militant, or you run out of alphabetic initiatives headlines at a certain point. It's not that. It is something that is difficult to characterize in programmatic terms, that it's got distinguishing features that are unique, but they're very different to what most of us have encountered over the years with the attempts at launching a better party, or an alternative party, I should say. What we have in common is an absolute rejection of the performance and the record of the Labour Party, which, however, in addition to that, is driven by a real concern that if there isn't an alternative and a better alternative to the Labour Party, then the worst outcome isn't that we're left with Keir bloody Starmer. The worst outcome would be that the vacuum in British politics will be exploited and developed by others, particularly on the far right, who are already showing intent, building at least part of the framework of a national party with a very serious far-right agenda, and one which, although they don't talk about this very much, leaks over into quite thuggish, racist, and totalitarian politics. People who've not enjoyed much in the limelight for frankly, since Mosley. I'm old enough to remember when Oswald Mosley attempted a comeback after 1945. And I can remember going on marches of the Young Socialists, as they were then, and he quickly disappeared into the shadows. Today, the threat is far greater, far more immediate, and with the potential, as I say, to polarize politics to the right in a very dangerous way. So that's the first thing about the new initiative. It's also different precisely because it is not immediately driven by a dozen programmatic points where they want immediate change to a different program. They do want to change to a different program, but it's not the details of that program which have made life in the Labour Party intolerable. What's made life in the Labour Party for wide range of socialists, broadly, charitably defined as one likes, intolerable, has been the almost totalitarian refusal to recognize the rights of critics and of opponents of the party leadership's program and politics, the ruthless use of both money from dubious sources, business, etc., and also a quite ruthless, almost Stalinist exploitation of the party machine to silence and discipline, marginalize, discourage persistent critics on the left. Now, I don't think what I'm saying is an amazing revelation. It's, I suspect, very much a common experience that most of us have had in recent years. I rejoined the Labour Party. I was a member of the Labour Party until the Vietnam War. I'd even contested a general election for the Labour Party in Croydon in 1964. And in 1966, I was refused endorsement and told I was a completely out of the woods revolutionary and should have nothing to do with the Labour Party should have nothing to do with me. I rejoined when Corbyn emerged as leader, and now I've left again, predictably. So that's just by way of saying my personal history as far as understanding the significance of what Sara Sultana and Jeremy Corbyn have initiated. Now, they've made no secret of the fact that all the usual things that go with having a political party, a detailed program, a structure, a democratic accountability, etc., etc., hasn't even begun yet, but will have to begin. They don't deny or they don't ridicule or ignore the fact that any political party on the left that has a remote claim to relevance has to have a convincing democratic accountability for those who lead it and all that flows from that. So all that work, I was going to say, has not begun. Why has it not begun? I'm not entirely sure myself, but I hear what they say, and what they say is it will be after the Labour Party conference. My interpretation of that is that the initial response to the party, the launch of a new party, which has been very impressive, there'll be a subsequent wave of new recruits to the new party when the lessons of the Labour Party conference sink home and people realize that any hope that the ship of state we call the Labour Party is going to change at some 180 degrees is for the birds. So I think that will come. I don't think the delay is because they are particularly irresponsible about the need for a democratic constitution, a visible and accountable financial system, because people will be paying. It's going to be membership will come with fees, quite rightly. There shouldn't be talk of any other source of finance other than that raised by the members of the new party. All of that, the details of all of that, will only be seriously discussed in the weeks immediately after the Labour Party conference. However, I think we can say that there is already work underway sketching out various options that should be put to a party convention, which would be the first act after the Labour Party conference and everything, when some initial ideas are publicly launched by Sultana and Corbyn and others, so that there will be something, as it were, to grapple with that is more concrete than the generalizations, which have been progressive, enlightened, encouraging. No, I have no problem with the kind of values that Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana have spoken to. I think they're right, and the party should be firmly rooted in those values. But the work to devise a program of political intervention, because we're talking about a party that will contest parliamentary elections. And I want to say a word in a second about what, at least my understanding is, about the impact that this initiative has already had on people that are active in municipal politics, local politics. Several hundred Labour councillors have joined the new party. I haven't got an exact figure, but I do know it's in the low hundreds already. Now that puts it in a completely different category to any other left initiative that I've ever been aware of or observed over the last decades. That's point number one.